So, now your offer has been accepted and you're officially in contract. Now what happens? Now it's time for your mortgage onboarding, where we send out your mortgage disclosures to you and start doing our order outs on your behalf. We'll talk about that next week, because what happens simultaneously in these first few days after you're in contract on this home is your home inspections. I'm Lisa Pinnock with Lisa Does Loans and the Mortgage Dream Team with UFFC Express. Welcome to our guide on essential home inspections for your mortgage. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned homeowner, understanding the inspections required for your mortgage is crucial for ensuring the safety, value, and the longevity of your investment. Before diving into the specifics, let's discuss why these inspections are necessary. When you apply for a mortgage, lenders require thorough inspections to assess the property's condition and identify any potential issues that could affect its value or pose risks down the line. These inspections provide peace of mind both for you and for the lender, ensuring that the property meets certain criteria and standards before the mortgage is finalized. First, let's talk about the general home inspection. This one is not required for your mortgage, but for your protection as the potential homeowner. This one tells you as the buyer just what you're getting into as the potential homeowner as far as maintenance and overall condition of the home. The inspection is done by a licensed home inspector, and they give a comprehensive assessment to evaluate the structures on the property, including exterior, interior, plumbing, electrical systems, HVAC, which means heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. That's what that stands for if you didn't know. They look at the roof, the attic, crawl spaces, foundation, and more. Home inspection costs vary depending on the size of the home, the location relative to how far the inspector has to drive, and the property type. They look at every nook and cranny of the property, looking for signs of wear, damage, potential hazards, and then they deliver that report so that your realtor can negotiate on your behalf for any needed repairs. This is called a TRR, Treatments, Repairs, and Replacements. Your contract will stipulate how soon that this inspection will need to be completed if a TRR is required in this transaction. It's typically within the first 10 days from execution of contract. Execution of contract means all the parties have signed. The general home inspection is often confused with the home appraisal. The difference between these two inspections is that the home inspection is done on behalf of the buyer. The appraisal is done on behalf of the lender, and the appraisal tells the value of the property. The general inspection is much more in-depth than the appraisal. For example, the home inspector may report on a hot water tank that needs to be replaced because of age. They are reporting on not just safety and condition, but also upkeep and maintenance for you as the buyer. The appraiser, in contrast, isn't going to report on a replaceable hot water tank unless there is some kind of safety or damage concern. Replacing hot water tanks is a part of home maintenance. However, if it will damage the home as a collateral, then it will be mentioned, or if it is a safety concern. So the biggest difference between the home inspection and the appraisal is home inspection looks out for you, but the appraiser is reporting on the home as collateral on behalf of the lender, and they're valuing the property and saying what it's worth in the marketplace. We'll talk more about appraisal process in our series, but I did want to make that distinction between home inspection and appraisal while we're talking about home inspections. Again, the home inspection is not a requirement for most home loans, but unless you like to gamble with such a big purchase, it is recommended. Next up, the pest inspection. A pest inspection is sometimes included as part of the general inspection, and sometimes it is separate and conducted by a licensed pest inspector who also does treatments. These inspections look for any infestations or damage caused by pests such as termites, rodents, or insects. This inspection is particularly crucial in areas prone to specific pests. In some states, this is a requirement, and in other states, it's not. Oklahoma does not require a pest inspection unless it's a VA loan, or if the appraiser calls out pest concerns. Though some lenders do require it as part of their own overlays, we don't. But the pest inspector inspects the property for signs of pest activity, including damage to wood, droppings, or nests, to ensure that the home is free from infestations. If they locate any of this, then they'll put that in the report, and then your realtor can negotiate with a TRR. For homes that have private well or septic systems, a separate inspection can be necessary to assess the functionality and compliance with local regulations on these. Again, these inspections aren't generally necessary for mortgage requirements unless the appraiser says that the well or septic need to be assessed independently. If you choose to get these inspections, the inspector will test the water. They're checked for quality from the well, and they'll test the septic system to make sure that it's meeting all the safety standards and it's in working order. If you are buying a manufactured home or a home that has been structurally altered or built onto, there is a strong possibility that you may need a structural engineering inspection. These specialized inspectors are structural engineers, and they'll come out onto the site to determine the integrity of the property's foundation, look at the load-bearing walls, and other structural components of the structure. They give a detailed analysis of any weaknesses, cracks, signs of structural damage, or anything that could compromise the stability of the home. In the case of manufactured housing, they'll look for proper spacing of the footings, framing and piers, note that the axles, wheels, and tongue have all been removed, and that it meets HUD guidelines for proper foundation. Depending on the property's location, age, and specific features, additional inspections could be necessary. These could include testing for radon, lead, mold inspections, and more. These types of inspections are the exception rather than the rule, but your realtor or our team can connect you with professionals if any of these types of inspections are interesting to you. If you wish to have them, or if an appraiser says that further investigation is required. Now that we've gone over the typical and the rare kinds of inspections, let's talk about what happens next. After your inspections are completed, you'll receive a detailed report outlining any issues or recommendations that the inspector has for you. It's essential that you review these reports carefully and address any concerns with your realtor. Depending on the findings, they may be able to negotiate repairs or adjustments to the purchase price on your behalf. As I mentioned before, this has to happen within the first few days as outlined in your real estate contract. I want to repeat that aside from the appraisal, which is a requirement, most of these are not required, but I would always urge at least the general and pest inspection on such a large investment. As I mentioned, next week we will dive into the onboarding of the mortgage process, where we send out your initial disclosures, set up your file for processing, and begin order outs. It's going to be a fun one to talk about. Do you like this content? Please like and share, and we would love it if you would subscribe to our channels too. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you can read more about our team and the mortgage process at www.mortgagedreamteamok.com. Thank you so much for watching, and please give me a call or shoot a text or email if I can help you, or you have questions or ideas for topics in this series that you want to know more about. The Mortgage Dream Team is here to help you, and it all starts with a conversation.